Let me just start the recording as well. Perfect. So good morning everyone. I am Aman Gupta this side. I'll be taking the webinar for the day, and we'll be talking all about JEE Advanced, and I'll love to hear any kind of questions that you have regarding your preparation for JEE Advanced. All right. First of all, let us begin with one question. I hope all of you have already got the result, and all the attendees here are the ones who have already qualified JEE Main, right? Great, nice. What about the others? Good. What about you, Mahimashri? Great. So today, what we are going to do is we're going to follow a certain pattern, a certain agenda. Let me go through it once. We'll be discussing the exam patterns that you're going to face in JEE Advanced Paper 1, Paper 2. We'll also do an analysis of the exam that was there in JEE Advanced 2015 and what could be expected in JEE Advanced 2016. How you can plan your entire preparation in the last 3 weeks, and what kind of exam strategies do you need to follow to make sure that you get, first of all, the qualifying marks in the JEE Advanced examination, and then a good score which will ensure a seat in JEE Advanced in a good IIT. All right, cool. Okay. Uh, yes. Yes, Gaurav, we are going to, I'm going to tell you more about the question types that you're going to face in the JEE Advanced. When we go through the analysis of JEE Advanced, we will surely discuss the kind of questions and the patterns that are covered in JEE Advanced and what could be expected in JEE Advanced 2016. We are also going to look at the workarounds at how you can select or reject a particular question to make sure that your attempt is good enough to ensure a seat in IIT. All right? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, Abhishek. So Abhishek is asking if we are also going to cover the kind of planning or the kind of topics that are needed to be covered uh, prior to JEE Advanced, or is it possible for us to leave some topics? So what I'll also do is I'll give you a glimpse of the kind of questions or the kind of topics that were in prominence in the JEE Advanced 2015 and which will be very important in 2016, so that in the remaining time period you can focus on those particular questions, on those particular topics. So let's quickly move ahead. All right. So I'll like to introduce myself. I did my engineering from IIT Delhi. I passed out in 2008, and after that, I was working as business technology analyst with Deloitte Consulting in Mumbai. After that, I got an opportunity to basically work with a lot of students preparing for IIT JEE and guide them and mentor them together for getting a good seat in IIT. So I've been fortunate to have worked with quite a few thousand students in the last 5 years, and I hope that I'm able to make a certain difference in your examination preparation and in your examination result in 2016 JEE Advanced. All right. So why IIT is such a challenge? What is that which makes IIT such a big challenge is that you are now among the top 2 lakh students who have already qualified for JEE Advanced, and out of those approximately 15,000 students would be qualified for the for a seat in IIT. But the point is that if you want a good IIT, then you need to be among the top 5,000 or 6,000 students. That is what will ensure you a good seat in a good college like IIT Delhi or IIT Bombay or IIT Kanpur, because the branches and the number of seats in these particular colleges are limited. All right, so the kind of focus that you need to make to ensure a good seat in IIT is really it's the competition is really hard, and even 1 mark makes a lot of difference. All right, so the cutoff that was there in last year's JEE Advanced was 124, and what we are going to do is basically we are going to look at challenges of the how to overcome this particular challenge of 124 first, and then how to maximize that score. I'll give you a short plan of securing a minimum of 160, 170 marks, and beyond that is whatever you can do out of your capacity. I'll give you a plan to easily take a cutoff or secure at least 160, 170 marks. All right. Anyone having a question regarding the IIT challenge? Okay. Yes, Tony. Go ahead. Tony, maybe I'm still waiting for your question. So in the meantime, okay. In the meantime, I'll take another question. What should be the revision plan for these days, Vidipto? So Vidipto, we'll be taking up this question. We'll be taking up the kind of preparation that could be done in the remaining few days. I'll be covering that in the upcoming slides. All right, and I think Tony has the same kind of question that what should I study in these particular 2 weeks. So we'll definitely take up these questions in the upcoming slides. All right. First of all, what I'll do is quickly move on to the next topic, which is the exam patterns. Let's quickly go through the exam patterns so that everyone has an idea of what exactly to expect in the JEE Advanced examinations. So as you can see, there was paper 1 and paper 2. You must be knowing that there will be two examinations. One is from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and the other one is from 2 to 5 p.m. So there are going to be two examinations, paper 1 and paper 2 for JEE Advanced, and both of them would be on the same day. Each examination would be consisting of 60 questions. IIT has a habit of changing the pattern or changing the number of questions to make it little surprising. But what has been seen, what has been observed for the last few years is that generally the questions in each paper would be 60 each, 20 from physics, chemistry and mathematics each, and the question types have been varied to make sure that the level of difficulty of the examination is very high, the confusion factor is high. If you see JEE main examination, each question is followed by just 4 options. So the probability of getting a correct answer is 1/4. But if you see the kind of questions that are coming in JEE Advanced, if you see the integer type questions, then the the probability of getting the right answer by a guess is very less. Similarly, in questions with more than one option correct, the the point of guessing is really not sensible, because the questions sorry, the kind of responses would be very different. For example, if a question has A, B and C as the correct options, but if you mark only A and B, even in that case you are not going to achieve the full you're not going to get the marks. So the confusion factor is very high. The paper 1 of JEE Advanced examination, it consisted of objective type questions, that are the questions with one or more than one options correct. There were integer type questions, and there were matrix match question as well. So if you'll see the kind of marking scheme, then the integer type questions were basically having +4. I think there's a typo here. Integer type questions were having +4 and 0 as the negative marks, whereas the questions with one or more options correct had +4 and -2 for a wrong attempt, and the matrix match questions had +8 and -4 for the correct and incorrect responses. All right. So I have a question from Sujit. He's asking, does each chapter of physics, chemistry and mathematics have specified number of marks coming JEE Advanced 2016? No, Sujit, there is no such clear-cut demarcation of marks or demarcation of topics which are going to come in the JEE Advanced examination. They vary, but yes, I will be able to give you a little glimpse of the kind of areas which are most probably which are going to be most probably asked in the in this examination, JEE Advanced examination. All right, I'll tell you that what could be expected in JEE Advanced exam. All right. So similarly, in paper 2, if you will see, paper 2 again had three types of questions. One was the questions with one or more options correct, then there were interior type questions, and there were also paragraph based questions. Again, the number of questions was 60-20 each from physics, chemistry and mathematics, and the marking scheme was more or less the same as the previous one, that is interior type questions had +4 and 0 as the positive and negative marks, whereas the objective type and paragraph type had +4 and -2 as the correct for the correct and incorrect options. Okay, so any particular questions that you have will take a minute to basically answer any particular question that you might have regarding the examination pattern. All right, or what are the types of questions that are expected? So I have one question from Kanaya. Is asking cutoff marks for OBC. So I have a slide here where I'll show you the cutoff marks for each particular category which was there in 2015, and accordingly you can say that plus minus 5-10% would be the cutoff for this year as well. Karthik is asking, sir, are there partial marks for matrix match type? That is, if only some of the options are correct, will the marks be awarded? So again, this varies, Karthik, every year in the sense that there will be if you are marking, let's say there are four matrix match questions which have to be matched against the other side of the column, then each question for which you are answering right carries 2 marks, which happened last year. But what can also happen is that IIT again has a very bad habit of changing things. You have to go through the instructions very neatly so that you do avoid any kind of mistakes. It can happen that JEE this year decides that even if you mark one column as incorrect, one column incorrectly, then they might not give you the marks for the entire matrix match question as well. So you have to be careful. You have to make sure that you go through the instruction very clearly. All right. Mahima Shri is asking, is the portion of JEE Advanced 2016 same as 2015? Sorry, Mahima Shri, I did not understand your question that properly. What do you mean by is the portion of JEE Advanced? So please, can you again specify your question properly? Tony is asking, is getting above cutoff not enough for getting into IIT? No, Tony, that is, I'm really sorry, but that is not sufficient for getting into IIT. The cutoff will basically put you in a rank list of 15,000, but that will not ensure a seat in IIT, a good seat in IIT. That will depend upon the counseling, that will depend upon the students opting for various streams. And as I told before that the top 7 colleges, the top 7 IITs, all the seats in these top 7 IITs, they generally fill in the top 4,000 itself. All right. So there is a little difficulty even after getting a cutoff, a score which is above the cutoff, but I'll show you. I think it should not be very difficult for you to get a score around 160, 170 if you concentrate well and if you follow the strategies which I'm going to discuss in the upcoming slides. All right. So Knaya is asking, sir, if I get 80 marks in JEE mains, can I get my hall ticket for advanced? I don't think there is you were able to get the cutoff for JEE mains. Do you belong to a specific category, or if you belong to general, then I'm sorry, I don't think that you'll be able to make it for JEE Advanced. So please specify that. Bibipto is asking what is minimum marks for getting a rank of below 5,000 in general category. I think again you'll require a minimum of 170 marks to get the rank below 5,000 in general category. So Shivangi is saying I've scored 126 marks in JEE mains. That is good, Shivangi. So you're basically qualified for JEE Advanced. So please make the best of the opportunity that you have at hands. He's asking, sir, I study well only in physics and chemistry. So I do have a strategy which will uh, help those students as well who are particularly doing well in one or two topics and may not be doing really well in the third topic. So I have a strategy for that as well. We'll look at that in the upcoming slides. So Shivangi, yeah, definitely you can crack JEE Advanced if you prepare well. Right now there are still a few days remaining, and what we'll do is when I go through the topics which are of utmost importance in JEE Advanced, and I'll tell you that how easy it could be to crack JEE Advanced. I'm pretty sure that you can focus in the last few weeks, these 3 weeks, and you can get a good you can crack JEE Advanced for sure if you utilize these few days well. Rishiraj is 160 enough to get electronics and communication. I'm sorry, this might not be sufficient to get 160 might not be sufficient to get electronics and communication in good IITs. It might be enough for the new IITs. JEE Advanced has less portion compared to JEE Main, Mahima Shri. So Mahima, I think what you're trying to ask is that the syllabus which is covered in JEE Advanced is less as compared to JEE Main. If that is what you're trying to ask, then I'll tell you that there are few chapters which feature in JEE Main, but they're not part of JEE Advanced. All right. So yes, there is a difference, a small difference, but not a huge difference in the syllabus of JEE Main and JEE Advanced. But that the main topics, the importance which the topics which are going to give you marks in JEE Advanced, they are common in both the examinations. Tony is asking what is the minimum marks then to get into a good IIT. Again, Tony, as I said before, 160, 170 is something which you should target as a minimum threshold. This will ensure that you get into you can get a seat in the top 7 IITs. Anushka, no, the rank of JEE Advanced is basically valid only for IITs and ISM Dhanbad. Okay, there's so many questions. I'll try to just take out a few good questions which are important at the moment, and maybe I'll cover the rest of them in the upcoming slides. So Kanaya, were you able to clear the cutoff for JEE Main this year? Have you been allotted? Have you seen the result? You must have seen the result. So I hope you saw that if you're qualified for JEE Advanced or not. Well, Udbhav, subject-wise cutoff was not actually very high. It was pretty less. Around 7 marks per subject was something which was required, and total of 24 marks, if my figures are not wrong. So, which was bare minimum. I think you will be able to achieve that easily. Bibipto 170 marks out of last year. The total marks were 504, and 170 is the score. 170, 180 is the score which you can achieve out of 504. Okay, so I think there's so many questions. Please excuse me, guys, for basically rushing through because there are way more important slides to be covered in the next few sections. So let's quickly move on to that. So Vinayak, I'm taking the last question. So Vinayak is asking, is it better to attempt theoretical questions first and then calculative questions, or the other way around? Is it basically, Vinayak, I don't think that there will be too many theoretical questions in JEE Advanced. The only ones that you can find are basically from the inorganic chemistry, which is very, very important, because I'll tell you that there are the kind of questions that were asked from JEE from the inorganic section were really high last year. So you can expect a similar pattern. And yes, if you are going through chemistry and you find theoretical questions of inorganic chemistry which you could easily attempt, go for it and do it as soon as possible. All right. Nikhil is asking, is there are any questions which are specified that these are single choice questions or multiple choice questions? Yes, Nikhil, it will be very clearly specified before the start of the exam in the instructions for the examinations, that which are the questions which are multiple choice questions and which are the questions which are maybe comprehension based or matrix match or whatever. So please listen everyone, this is pretty important which I am going to discuss. There are going to be basically 5 types of questions which can come in the examination. There are single answer based questions, there are multiple answer based questions, then there are third one is your integer based answers, fourth is your comprehension based question, and the fifth one is your matrix match. All right, these are the 5 types which can come in your examination. Each one will be very specifically mentioned that if this particular question belongs to single answer based question, that means out of the given options only one of the option is correct, then it will be very clearly specified. If the question has the more than one or more than one option correct, that means that out of maybe 5 options which are given, even one or all 5 could be correct. All right, so if the question is multiple answer based question, then it will be very clearly specified again. Third one is your integer type question, where the answer to a particular question is an integer. Fourth one is your comprehension based question, where there will be a short comprehension and 2 or 3 questions will be based on that comprehension. And the fifth one is your matrix match, where it will be a match the column kind of a thing. There will be a few uh, there will be two columns. There will be two columns and there are two columns. There will be some ABCD to be matched again PQRST in the column B, and you'll be basically given option matrix types, a matrix in the OMR sheet which you'll need to fill according to the option for PQ and R, for ABCD for PQRS. All right. So these are the question types which will be coming and which are basically part of JEE Advanced examination, which you'll need to be wary of. All right, so I'm moving on to the next particular slide. I hope most of you know that board exams will still hold a very important key for your eligibility in JEE Advanced, such that you need to be among the top 20 percentile of your respective board, or you need to get a minimum of 75% marks to be eligible for JEE Advanced. This means that if you achieve even the first rank in IIT JEE or in the JEE Advanced examination 2016, but you're not able to be among the top 20 percentile of your board, or get more than 75% in your board examinations, then you will not be eligible for that particular rank. So your seat will be cancelled if you are not able to fulfill the requirements from board examinations. Where did the question go? So I have one particular question. Yes, Gaurav. Gaurav, yes, even if you get a good rank in IIT, but if you're not able to get the cutoff, required cutoff in board examinations, then your seat will be cancelled actually. So yes, you have to be very, I hope everyone has already given good attempt in board examinations, and yeah, and if you are been able to qualify JEE main exam, I'm pretty sure that you must have got a minimum of 75% marks in your JEE in your board examinations. Kanaya, regarding your hall ticket, I think this is a very specific question. I'll need to see your case specifically. I'll request you to basically contact our support staff or contact me directly after this webinar so that we could look into your problem of hall ticket. All right. So I hope everyone is clear with the board examinations. Now let's quickly go through the exam analysis. This will help you to understand what could be expected in JEE Advanced 2016. Very important. Just analyze, just see this slide very clearly. If you'll see that this exam, the last year's examination had a lot of easy questions. All right, this particular analysis is based on both the papers, paper 1 and paper 2. So total of 120 questions that came in paper 1 and paper 2, and if you'll see that 27 questions were actually easy. These were questions which were really scoring. If you could select these, if you could identify these easy questions and could attempt these all of these easy questions, then you would have gotten the cutoff marks which were required for the for qualifying for minimum score in JEE Advanced. All right, so if you see 27 questions, 27, even if you're looking at 4 marks per question, then you're getting a score of 128, which was greater than the cutoff marks required for JEE Advanced last year. So again, I'll be specifying this thing in the upcoming slides as well, that what is required is a good question selection strategy. You need to be very good at selecting the right kind of questions which you attempt in JEE Advanced examination. It's not about attempting the 100%, making 100% attempt, or attempting as many questions as possible. It's about selecting the right questions and doing those right questions with your 100% accuracy. All right. Secondly, if you see very carefully, you'll see that the percentage of questions coming from class plus 2 is higher for each of the subjects. For physics, chemistry and mathematics, if you'll see, then you'll see that out of the 40 questions in paper 1 and paper 2, almost like 24-25 questions are coming from the class plus 2 syllabus. So now you know which particular class to focus on in the last few days. All right, any questions related to this thing? I will uh, take a 2-minute break. Please, I'll request everyone to write all the questions which they have regarding this particular question, regarding this particular slide or this particular analysis, and then we'll take them. All right, just a 2-minute break. So Tony has a very interesting suggestion that graphs would have been better. Yeah, Tony, I know that graphs would have been better, but a lot of students, they actually like to see the actual numbers. I hope the slide is something which is understandable by everyone. All right. Sujit is asking, sir, may I know what is paper 1 and paper 2 actually? So Sujit, As I mentioned before, in JEE Advanced, there are going to be two papers. One paper is going to be from morning 9 to 12 noon, and the second paper is going to be from 2 to 5 p.m. on the same day. And on the basis of both the papers, paper 1, paper 2, your final rank will be determined. So JEE Advanced examination actually consists of two papers. Mitra is asking if I got 94 marks in JEE Mains, do I have the capacity to clear Advanced? Yes. Again, I'm saying that JEE Advanced is all about question selection. If you select the right kind of questions, if you prepare well in the last 3 weeks that are there before the JEE Advanced examination, then there is whole lot of chance to clear JEE Advanced. Okay, Jivesh is saying my 11th standard physics is little bit weak, especially rotation and fluid mechanics. Should I devote my time in weak topics or should I make other topics stronger? So this is very important aspect, guys. If you could just bear with me, if you could just hear me out on this particular question. Jivesh is actually asking a very important question. Well, the time which is remaining in front of you, it should be utilized to improve the topics which you already feel that you are strong in. There is no time to study from the basics or to study from the scratch in your weak topics. Alright, let me tell you the kind of weightage for physics, Jivesh. In the last year, the main focus out of the 40 questions which were asked in physics, 9 questions came from electrodynamics. And from mechanics there were 13 questions, out of which only one question came from fluid mechanics. All right, and there were 3 questions which came from rotation. But if you when we'll cover the examination strategy in the upcoming slides, you'll understand that you have the capacity to leave a few questions from the topics which you're not comfortable in. All right, so Anshul, can you please specify what is taking so much time? All right, Jivesh, I hope I'm able to answer you. If you'll see that what I'm saying is that you should focus on your strong topics. Make sure that all the topics that you know, you should be able to do the questions with complete accuracy in the examination, and you have the capacity to leave out a few questions, a few topics which you're not comfortable in. Alright, so rotation you can leave out fluid mechanics. That will eliminate 4 questions, but you still have 36 questions which you can use, which you can basically give an attempt in. And let's basically look at the examination strategies now, so that you could understand that it's majorly about question selection, that how much easy it could be for you to basically get a good rank in IIT. Okay, Bibipto, how to select the easiest question in the paper? I mean, is there a particular way to select easy question? So Bibito, easy question is something which you can easily attempt and which you know that you are able to, you can easily you can easily crack that particular question in the given time. All right, so it depends upon the question, it depends upon the topics that you're comfortable in. The entire strategy, see, JEE Advanced examination does not have too many questions. If you'll see, there are 60 questions and you'll be given 180 minutes for that, for attempting the paper. So you have 3 minutes per question, in which you can see the question, you can read the question, you can make a decision if you want to attempt it or not. Alright, so easy questions, the identification of easy questions is not too difficult. It is difficult when the number of questions are too much, but in the JEE Advanced case, you have the time to identify, to go through each and every question, check if you can attempt that question, and if you feel that yes, you're comfortable attempting that question, you can easily do that. Okay, so next question is from Anushka. I have prepared numericals only for mains, but there are a lot of questions, a lot of theoretical questions. Should I concentrate on theoretical topics such as semiconductor, etc.? Okay, so Anushka and JEE Advanced, they might not be a lot of theoretical questions. I could not find any question from semiconductor last year. So you, as per my suggestion, yes, this is the right time to just focus on the on the numericals and make sure that you attempt that with 100% accuracy. One more thing, there is a bad habit among the students that they do not practice the questions till the end. What I mean to say is that when you are doing any question, make sure that you do the entire calculation, that you get the final answer and you match it to the your answer sheet. So you'll have a good practice of calculations and you will not falter in your final examination. We've seen a lot of students doing silly mistakes in calculations, so which should be avoided, and we should make sure, and everyone should make sure that you are not doing such kind of mistakes where the mistakes are related to calculations. All right. Rishiraj, my physics and maths are good, but chemistry is not so good. In chemistry, may I practice numerical or concentrate in theory? So guys, if you see the chemistry part, there were around 15 questions which came from inorganic itself out of 40 questions. All right, that is more than 33%, that is more than one third of the paper came from inorganic chemistry. So you have the time, you have around 3 weeks. If you could, I would still suggest that go through inorganic chemistry, do it on a regular basis, maybe give 2 hours to 3 hours every day to on the inorganic chemistry, to make sure that you get a good mark, that you get a good score in chemistry itself. So concentrating on inorganic chemistry could ensure that you get a good rank. Mitra, yes, I did say that in earlier as well, that there are going to be subject-wise cutoffs, but those subject-wise cutoffs are very minimal, like 7 to 10 marks per subject, which you can easily get. Kanaya, as I just said, please contact us after this webinar regarding your hall ticket. This is a very specific question. I'll need to see your case and we'll answer that accordingly. All right, this particular question is not valid for this webinar. Please contact us after this webinar. Tony is asking, should I read theoretical chapters like polymers or metallurgy? So if you have already read them, Tony, it will be good to just revise. If you have not, then I would not suggest you to read that from scratch. All right. Muskan is saying that she is having trouble memorizing inorganic chemistry. So Muskan, you'll need to spend 2 to 3 hours every day and you'll need to revise the inorganic chemistry every day, topic by topic. And after revising any particular topic in inorganic chemistry, I suggest that you just practice a lot of questions from inorganic chemistry. That is the only way that you can memorize inorganic chemistry. So Jivesh is saying my chemistry is very strong, all topics, either it is physical, inorganic or organic, but my physics is quite weak. So Jivesh, that is not a problem. I am just going to discuss one of the strategies which is a particular subject specific. So you'll need to cover your weakness in physics by doing very well in chemistry. All right. Anushka is asking, so I'm taking this last question right now for this particular slide. So Anushka is asking, what are very important topics in all the subjects? So let's start with physics. In physics, the two most important topics would be your electrodynamics, which will cover electrostatics, current, electricity, and magnetism. And the second most important topic is your mechanics, which will cover your kinematics, your work power energy, your rotational, and fluids. Along with that, I'll suggest that give 3 to 4 hours in gravitation, because last year as well, generally we have seen the trend that every year 1 or 2 questions are coming from gravitation. Gravitation is a very simple topic, and I think giving 3 to 4 hours can ensure that you get a good score, that you are able to crack the questions from gravitation. All right. Along with that, see, topics are all important. I cannot just tell you to miss anything. But last year, which we saw that electrodynamics, which consisted of electrostats, magnetism, and current electricity, mechanics, they were the most important topics, which consisted of more than 50% of the paper in paper 1 and paper 2 combined. Then the next ones were modern physics and optics. 13 questions came from modern physics and optics last year. So modern physics is again easy. So cracking those 7 questions from modern easy could be quite easy, because 2 questions were from atomic physics, 3 were from nuclear physics, 1 was photoelectric effect. So these particular topics are pretty easy. So you can afford to spend a day on just revising nuclear physics, on just revising modern physics. All right. There were 5 questions which came from geometrical optics. 5 questions which came from geometrical optics. So you know that this particular small topic of geometrical optics could be very important for JEE Advanced. All right. Coming to chemistry, as I said that inorganic chemistry was very important. It is very important. Coordination compounds, D and F block, chemical bonding. These are few topics which are frequently asked in JEE Advanced. Then GOC is a very small percentage. The main percentage actually comes from aromatic compounds. So aromatic compounds and hydrocarbons, you should go through these topics in particular detail. Physical chemistry was something which was asked a little less. The main topics which were asked were thermodynamics, chemical kinetics, electrochemistry. All right, so when I talk about chemistry, so you know that you have to focus on inorganic chemistry. Make sure to give 2 to 3 hours every day on inorganic chemistry. All right, where you can specifically spend some time on chemical bonding, coordination compounds, and D and F block elements. Then in organic chemistry, aromatic compounds and hydrocarbons are very important. Make sure that you don't leave them. And in physical chemistry, you can choose to go through chemical kinetics, electrochemistry, thermodynamics. So if you'll see physical, it was they tried to cover almost all the topics last year from physical chemistry, one or two questions from each and every topic. So physical chemistry, I think most of you should know physical chemistry, and if not, you can actually do some practice, because physical chemistry is something which can give you 100% accuracy. There must be numericals from physical chemistry, which if you solve till the end, you can easily get the answer with 100% accuracy. All right. In mathematics, algebra was something which was very important. There were 4 questions from vector analysis. Coordinate geometry is important again, very easy to score, and you'll see that six questions out of 40 they came from ellipse, hyperbola, and parabola, which are pretty easy to crack. Calculus consists of more than 50% of your examination, more than 40% of your examination. Differential calculus and integral calculus combined had 16 questions out of 40. So if I were you in your place, I would spend a lot of time practicing calculus. All right, when I know that 15 to 16 questions are coming from calculus, I'll spend a good time practicing calculus, differential as well as integral calculus. 5 questions came from definite integration. 5 questions they came from definite integration. So you see a lot of focus has been given to definite integration, and 3 questions were from probability, 3 were from trigonometry. So a very varied kind of profile in mathematics, but if I have to focus on a few important topics from mathematics, then they would be differential calculus and integral calculus, along with that vector analysis and the fourth one would be probability. So for me, these would be the important these would be the important topics. All right. Any question? Yes, Karthik, I will be giving you tips to make sure that you're energetic throughout the 6 hours, and I'll surely discuss that. Okay, so let's basically go to the next few questions. I'll please excuse me guys for not taking all the questions right now. It's basically we are running short of time. These are the qualifying marks last year. These are the qualifying marks uh, as were asked by some students as well. That last year qualifying marks were for common rank list it was 124, for OBC it was 112, and for SC/ST it was 62. Alright, these were qualifying marks. These did not ensure a good rank, or these did not ensure you a seat in IIT. These are just qualifying marks. Alright, so let's quickly move on to the next particular slide, which is very important. These are the examination strategies. Now, how will you ensure that you get good marks in JEE Advanced? All right, let's focus on that. If you'll see that JEE Advanced is all about selecting the right questions which you're going to attempt in a particular examination. It's just about selecting the right questions. All right. The first strategy is, let's basically select, or let's basically decide number of questions that we are going to do from each integer type, multiple answer type, or matrix match. All right. Last year, the kind of trend that we have seen is that integer type questions are 8 out of 20. So 8 questions are integer type questions where the marking scheme is +4 and -0. All right, these questions, what is the advantage of integer type questions is that there is only one answer correct, and secondly, these are generally numerical based questions or direct questions. All right, these are something which you can solve. So if you just focus on these 8 questions, I am asking you to only attempt 4 questions out of these 8 questions in physics, chemistry, and mathematics. I think it should not be that difficult selecting 4 questions out of 8 questions from integer type questions. All right. Second thing is, if you see the multiple answer types, these are questions which have one or more than one option correct. So the confusion factor or the possibility of committing a mistake in multiple answer type questions is very high. So that is why we have asked you to only attempt, if you only attempt 2 questions, or if you're only able to correctly answer 2 questions out of 10 in each subject. All right, and last but not the least, matrix match. There are going to be 2 questions of matrix match. We are hoping that you're able to just solve one matrix out of 2. Even if you do so, then you're getting how many marks? 80 marks in paper 1 itself. Okay, so how many questions you're attempting? In 3 hours you were asked to attempt a total of 60 questions. But how many did you attempt? You attempted 4 from integer, 2 from multiple answer type, and 1 matrix match. Alright, 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 1 is 7, 7 into 3 is 21. So out of 60 questions, if you are able to attempt 21 questions with complete accuracy, with 100% accuracy, then you are able to get 80 marks in paper 1 itself. Okay, when I talk about the strategy for a champ, all right, when someone is saying that I'm really good in one particular topic, one particular subject, but I'm not doing so well in another subject, So that is a strategy 2 or 3 or 4, which is saying that if you even if you are a physics champ, let's say, then it is your responsibility to get at least 50 marks in physics and compensate for the loss of marks in physics itself for chemistry and mathematics. Alright, so out of the 3 hours given to you, maybe you can spend 1 to 1.5 hours on physics itself, making sure that you are able to achieve 50 marks at least in your physics. Alright. Similarly, if you're talking about, if you're saying that you're really well in chemistry and not so doing well in physics and mathematics, then you have to concentrate your effort on chemistry, ensure that you get a good marks in chemistry, and after that you're basically able to compensate for the loss of marks in physics and maths by doing better or very well in chemistry itself. And the same goes for mathematics. We have still kept the number of marks in maths as 40 only, because maths is something which is a little difficult, a little tricky, and you might not be able to achieve 50 or 60 marks in mathematics. But even if you're able to achieve 40 marks and just 20 marks in physics and chemistry, you're still going to achieve a marks of 80 in the paper 1. Alright, so this is just paper 1. We are going to see the paper 2 as well right now. The total combined score is what is counted in the ranks, which are going to be based upon the total marks which you are able to achieve in paper 1 plus paper 2. I think I have one question. These patterns may change this year. This has been asked by Tony. Yes, Tony, patterns, they change every year. I've been saying that over and again, that IITs have a very bad habit of changing the pattern every year. They like to make some changes, but what I like to mention is that the question types are more or less the same. As I said, there are 5 question types. One is single choice question, then there are questions with more than one option correct. The third one is your integer based questions. The fourth one is your comprehension based question, and the fifth is your matrix match. These are the 5 types of questions, and generally the paper will revolve around these 5 question types itself. The composition may change, but that should not impact your performance. All right. Let's see the paper 2 as well in the meantime. So if you'll see paper 2 again has 3 types: integer type, multiple answer types, and comprehension. So again, going by what we discussed in the paper 1 strategy, if you attempt only 4 questions of integer type, each from physics, chemistry, and mathematics with 100% accuracy, then only 2 questions from multiple answer type questions out of 8, and only 1 comprehension. Basically, there will be there were 2 comprehensions of 2 questions each. But if you are able to solve only 1 comprehension, let's say 2 questions out of 4, then you're getting 96 marks in the paper 2. And what is the combined score? The combined score of paper 1, paper 2 following the strategy 1 comes out to be 176. Alright, these are good marks. 176 is something which you get as a minimum marks if you follow the strategy 1. Strategy 1 says that just identify easy questions, only attempt those questions where you are 100% confident of getting the right answer, and just attempt 1/3 paper, or only 21-22 questions out of a total of 60 questions. Even that will ensure that you can get a good rank in JEE Advanced. So all those who are asking me questions like if they're ready, if they can get a good rank in JEE Advanced, is the last 3 weeks sufficient for getting a good rank in JEE Advanced? Well, now you can see for yourself that all you need to do is a good question selection strategy, making sure that you at least go through the important topics before you go for the JEE Advanced examination, and do those attempts where you're 100% confident of getting the right answer. Similarly, if you'll see that in if you're very doing really well in one or two topics, then you can see that if as a physics champ you can get you can basically make up for the lack of score in the other subjects by doing well in a particular topic. Similarly, chemistry and mathematics, you can really do well in physics, chemistry, and mathematics in one particular topic, and then give a minimum performance in the other two topics. Even that will ensure that you get a good score in paper 2. Okay, so there are two strategies which we have discussed here. The first one is selecting or rejecting the questions, and selecting the easy questions or the right questions with 100% accuracy. Second is if you are a champ in a particular subject, and if you feel that one particular subject can make up for the loss of marks in other two subjects, then you have to focus or you concentrate your efforts on that particular topic first, and then make up for the other two subjects. All right. Any question per se regarding the strategies? So Vinayak is saying which subject should I attempt first? Vinayak, it um, the first subject that should be attempted again and depends upon the strategy that you're following. The first topic, I sincerely believe that the first topic should be something which you're really good in, which you're really comfortable in, and the remaining two topics could be something. The second topic could be the second best, and the last one could be the something which you're not comfortable in. Some people give very good performance in the last 1 hour. They are very active for in the pressure conditions. So what I'll recommend for them is that they can take up the first subject as the best as their best subject. Second one maybe the least preferred subject, and in the last 1 hour they can go through the topic which is their second best. All right. So I think it is basically time to end the seminar, but what I'll recommend, see, for making sure that you have the right kind of the right strength or the sorry, just to cut out. Okay, so if you have to make sure that you give your best performance in the 6 hours, then what you need to follow is that in the last 3 weeks, make sure that you follow the same regime as is going to be followed in JEE Advanced examination. Very important that you wake up in the morning at the right time, maybe around 7 o'clock in the morning, sit down to study for 3 hours from 9 to 12, maybe give an exam or mock test between 9 to 12, and then uh, take a break for 2 hours, and then again go back to study from 2 to 5 p.m. All right. So what this will ensure is that you are accustomed to the conditions, examination condition in the next 3 weeks, and this will help you in your final day examination. In the morning, you need to have a light breakfast every day, maybe around 8 o'clock every day, just maybe 7:30 or 8 o'clock every day, have a light breakfast. Light breakfast means that maybe sandwich or something which is not too heavy, not pranthas or anything like that, and such that you're really active in 3 hours from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. All right, then take lunch around 1 p.m. and again that lunch should not be too heavy. Okay, and then again go back to study from 2 to 5 p.m. Okay, you should not, in the next 3 weeks, you should make sure that you are not feeling sleepy in the particular time duration, that is 9 to 12 or 2 to 5, that you're not feeling hungry in the time duration that I specified earlier, 9 to 12, 2 to 5, and that you are not losing your concentration in those two time slots. Okay. Shivangi, can you please write your question again? I think I missed your question. So you should make sure that you follow this regime in the next 3 weeks and be prepared for the final examination day. All right. Karthik is saying, is it beneficial to allocate some time for reading question paper? Karthik, you'll have sufficient time. You can go section by section, topic by topic, and go through each and every question. Try to understand if you can do a particular question. If yes, then you can attempt that. If no, you can leave that. Or if you feel that you can do that question maybe later in the examination, then you can mark it as star and go back to that question later on. Shivangi, yes, I did say that in the last slide as well, that you have the ability to crack JEE Advanced. If you see the strategies that we mentioned, that we discussed before, it is all about selecting the right questions and making sure that you utilize the last 3 weeks very well. I also discussed the important topics, like which are the topics which are very important in JEE Advanced. So you can go through those topics like electrodynamics and mechanics are something which are always getting a lot of traction. Then calculus in mathematics and inorganic chemistry in chemistry. These are topics which are generally getting a lot of wherein a lot of questions have been asked in JEE Advanced. So you can follow these particular topics. You can revise them well, and surely trust me on that. If you just utilize these 3 weeks and give your best on the examination day, then you have all the ingredients to get a good rank in IIT JEE, in JEE Advanced examination. So Bibito is asking, even if the pattern changes, can we adhere to the strategies given by you? Yes, Bibito, the strategies are basically just a glimpse of what and how you can go about the examination. Even if the examination composition changes, even then you have to basically just select the right questions for yourself, giving maximum focus to the questions wherein maybe the questions are comprehension based or integer type. You will feel a lot of difficulty doing multiple answer type questions because of the kind of confusion that they get. So the strategies are just a glimpse. They are just an indication as to how to select the right questions for yourself. See, Nikhil, it is possible to prepare for JEE Advanced in 15 days, but I hope that you have already done a good practice, and since you have already cleared JEE Main, that means that you have had somewhat good practice of a lot of topics. All right, so it will just depend on how well you utilize the 15 days. Focus on the strong areas, focus on those areas where you're really comfortable, and make sure that you give you 100% to that. All right, there is no need to start revising those topics which you are not comfortable in, or which you don't think which you have not studied so far, or only focus on those topics which you are really comfortable in. Abhinav, you're not allowed to carry anything in the examination hall. Muskan, how to avoid calculation mistakes? Again, as I mentioned, that while you are practicing in the last few days, make sure that you attempt the question till the end. Make sure that you do the entire calculation and then match your answer. All right. Then in the JEE Advanced, in JEE Main or other examinations, the number of questions are more, but in JEE Advanced, the number of questions are actually very less. It's just 60 questions, out of which you just need to attempt maybe 30-35 questions. So you see there's going to be around 6 minutes per question, so you can be relaxed and you can give a good amount of time per question. You can make sure that your calculations are good and that you do not make any silly mistakes. Shivangi, with around 180 marks in JEE Advanced, can I get a seat in IIT? Yes, you can surely get a seat in IIT with 180 marks, Shivangi. Dhruv, is there any chances to be the negative marking of -1 instead of -2? Yes, Dhruv. Every year JEE is basically changing their patterns. They're changing their marking schemes to make sure that there is element of confusion, element of doubt among the students. So yes, there is every chance that the negative marking composition can change this year. So Mitra, they should provide the black pen or an HB pencil in JEE Advanced examination. That will be given in admit card, but all to basically take along with you in the examination hall. Yes, Yuhangi, with 180 marks in JEE Advanced, you can get a seat in IIT. Okay, I hope you guys have learned something from this webinar, and uh, somehow you have understood how to get the maximum out of your JEE Advanced examination. I really wish you all the best. I hope to see all of you actually in IITs in the next few months. So best of luck, give your best. As mentioned, please make sure that you follow the right regime, that you follow the right schedule in the next 15 days. Be the best on the examination day. You should not be worried about any examination pressure. You should not be worried about any tensions or your parents or whatever. These things do not count. Just focus on those examination. Just take it as any other examination and give your best. All right. And if you concentrate, I'm pretty sure that you are going to get a good rank in IIT. I'm really crossing my fingers for the best scores for all of you. All right. May God bless you, and and I hope you do all of you do really well in your examination. Bye bye.